Welcome to ComicCast, issue number 187, brought to you by Dwayne's World Comics and Games, 457 East Sullivan Street in Kingsport, Tennessee. They carry comic books, graphic novels, statues, toys, and gaming merchandise, including miniature games, board games, and RPGs. Check them out, Dwayne's World Comics and Games, Kingsport, Tennessee. My name is Boogie Bentley.
And I'm Adam Wade Adams.
Jason's just muted.
Jason, yeah. I just came back from freezing that freeze screen. I was like, oh no, that's perfect timing.
Great start.
This is Gaumer.
That was anticlimactic. We are at ComicCast Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Wherever you get social with your media, you're listening to this on YouTube. Make sure you go ahead and smash the like button, share out the link. Let's grow the live chat. Let's bring some questions. Let's have a good time. We got a special guest, Karla Nappi. Thanks for hanging out with ComicCast.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to get into some fun conversation. We're going to talk about your Kickstarter. We're going to talk about TV and movies, all kinds of good stuff. We got some people hanging out in the live chat starting to file in. Venomized Ryan is back. He's happy to see his custom emoji down there in the live chat. Happy to see that Willie P has his own custom emoji. See what happens when you join the channel. Join the channel right below the subscribe button. You may find yourself listed as an emoji. We have a special way we start this show, Karla. It's an icebreaker. I don't know if somebody like Ryland Grant or David Pepos or somebody warned you what was coming.
No, none of them did.
With your hood, this will be easy for you. Everybody in your hood knows the answers to these questions.
Well, go ahead and drop it.
There are no wrong answers.
Let's hear it. Okay. Go for it, Gaumer.
Oh, you want me to do it again?
Sure. Well, I mean, you led into it. Why
Karla,
not?
what is your favorite Rocky movie?
Oh, my favorite Rocky movie. I would say...
What?
do you really want my answer? Because you guys are your minds blown by this.
No.
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh no,
that's two in a row, right?
No, that's two.
We got to quit the show.
Okay.
This is the last show.
Okay, no.
Oh.
I figured because you're in that area,
I'm
the
listening,
Rocky
Gaumer.
area.
Everybody in your neck of the woods.
It's that Philly area.
Yeah, but I only moved here like a year ago.
I'm heartbroken.
Well, you should definitely check them out in order.
Okay.
And now's the perfect time to do. You got so much free time right now.
So to speak, yes.
See, my wife told me this was going to happen, and I told her she was crazy. And now in back-to-back weeks, it's happened. It's unfortunate. So what is your favorite movie? Let's play that game.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite movie? I would say it's, if I'm going for sci-fi, it would be Blade Runner. And then if I'm going for just like a movie I can watch any day of the week just to boost my mood, it would be When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, nice one.
Oh, Gaumer, don't be fake.
I'm not. I love romantic comedies. I love romantic comedies. I'm a sucker.
I've never seen When Harry Met Sally.
I'm a sucker for romantic comedies, man.
When it comes to Billy Crystal, I got to go City Slickers, though.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's a throw Mama from the train, but...
even City Slickers 2 was good, too. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's just for Curly's Gold, City Slickers 2. That was good as well.
I'm not a fan of City Slickers 2. It's okay.
Ah, man.
Like they were milking the franchise a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. They had to.
As we open every show talking about Rocky that has 72 movies, they milked that franchise.
Exactly.
Oh, what the heck is happening? Funny. I'm thrown off. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go from here.
Well,
what are you talking about? We're going to talk about Rocky for 20 minutes?
We're going to talk about...
That's what we usually do.
Show off the Kickstarter. I want to see this.
I've got the kick. You want me to go ahead and pull it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me share my screen here, and we'll go that route. Let's see. Where is it at?
You don't share the wrong thing.
Yeah, I know.
Make sure I share the audio.
There's some weird tabs up there.
I've got 8,000 tabs. Can we just do this? Let's start it this way. I want to.
Oh yes, watch it.
I want to play the video and show it off, and then we'll get into it.
My friend Jesselyn edited this together for me for free. She's amazing.
Oh, that's
Well,
awesome.
I will say this. I love it because I hate, and you did this at the end, which is fine, but I hate when people are just like, okay, here's my Kickstarter. You hit play and they're like, hi, my name's John. I wrote a comic book. This engages you right out of the gate. It's like a
trailer.
movie trailer. Yeah.
She's amazing. Her name is Jesselyn Hafley. She works out of DC in post-production. I've known her since we met when I worked on Michael Clayton, the Tony Gilroy movie. She's a fabulous human being, and she hooked me up with this video.
Nice.
I love it. Let's watch it here. Maybe if my internet works.
There it is.
One, by the way.
Oh, I love that. It's a trailer. That's exactly what it is.
That's what it should be to push a
Thank you.
Kickstarter.
I will let Jesselyn know.
I guess I want to start by, because we got a lot of people filing into the live chat now. And your campaign, first of all, congratulations. It's successfully funded. You're going into fulfillment now. Going to start shipping stuff out. I actually got the digital copy today.
Yeah, I sent them all out today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good timing.
I won't lie. I don't read them. I won't lie. I didn't read the review copies because I have to have physical copies in my hand. I can't.
I'm the same way.
You should have read this.
I'm not a digital guy. A buddy of mine actually had a Indiegogo campaign, raised like $80,000, and when he finished the digital, he sent it to me before anybody else, and he kept asking for my feedback, and I'm like, oh, I've not had time. Oh, I'm busy. Finally, I was like, man, I'm not gonna lie anymore. I'm not reading it until you ship me my physical copy. I don't like digital. But what I would want to ask you is, people that the campaign's over, how can they get their hands on this? Are they going to have to wait till the Kickstarter for the third issue?
Yes, because I'm actually in negotiations with a potential publisher right now.
Good.
I'm holding off on making it available online until I see how that goes, but I'm hoping to launch a Kickstarter for issue 3 in the next couple of months.
That was my big takeaway from this first issue is, how did you not just get this somewhere? It was very good.
I actually had a publisher right after I finished the first issue, and that's the reason why there was such a long gap between issue 1 and issue 2 was we were working with the publisher for a little while, and it ended up not working out. So once I got everything back from the publisher, then I went right into production on issue 2.
Sure.
We got William Pace down in the live chat. He is a writer for Outright Geekery. Works for Gaumer.
He didn't review it. Angel.
I read both issues.
He's plugging your website.
I just want to make sure William doesn't get the credit for.
And it was a fabulous review. You guys wrote such a nice review.
Yeah. Angel Young. She's actually pretty new, but yeah, we tossed this up on there and she grabbed it. She loved it. So yeah, and rightfully so. It was a great book. It's actually kind of timely. I don't know how many details you guys want me to go into. Yeah, of course not. There's no way you could guess that. But I loved it. There's conspiracy theory and big government and a big corporation. And yeah, it's so good. And I'm not sure, but a lot of that stuff is always timely. You know what I mean? There's always those hints in there. And that's just perfect sci-fi that digs into things that are actually happening. But yeah, unintentionally, but you want to go into the background of the book? What's going on?
You mean how I came about?
Well, either way, that, and then how what's going on in the book?
As far as like what I'm doing with it now, or
Yeah,
just
go into the background where it came from, the genesis.
okay.
Of
So
Yeah.
I wrote this originally as a pilot script to take out for staffing and TV, and I decided that I wanted to help my chances of breaking in by doing a one-off comic book issue, but I knew nothing about how to write comics. I knew how to write scripts for film and TV because that's where my training was and what I had been working in for years. I worked in New York and LA on set and in off production offices and writer room offices for over a decade. And I said, I got to get some serious training under my belt before I even attempt to do anything with a comic book. So I looked up classes and I found Jim Higgins at Meltdown Comics. And I took a bunch of classes with him. That's where I met Rylan Grant and Stephen Prince, David Schrader, and a bunch of other people. And that's where I workshopped this book, was in those classes, and how I learned how to write comic books.
Nice.
So, and then I just lucked out with my team. Mariana, Ryland helped me hook up with Mariana through a contact he had in Poland. And Vince Hernandez at Aspen Comics, I basically ambushed him outside a panel at Long Beach Comic Con. I just had a script at that point. I didn't even have an artist on board yet. And he was very kind to me, and he read the script and helped me with some tweaks. And he, with Josh Reed, who became my letter artist. My friend Himkar Tak, who did Boy One for Dark Horse. He hooked me up with Layla because she had done a cover for him. So that's how I got Layla and Owen to do the covers. So I was just very lucky with my team.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a testament to networking. If someone ever wonders what good could networking do, I mean, this is it. I mean, that's like, you knew these people who knew these people, and all the pieces started coming together, all because of networking.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then Josh got hired at DC Comics, so he hooked me up with Carlos, who's doing our letter work going forward on issue 2 going forward.
Yeah, I really liked both issues. I like how the first one followed, this woman character, and then the second issue was following more like the doctor, who invented the artificial stuff. It's really, really cool stuff. I like this comic a lot.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you guys enjoy it. It's always scary when you put something out there and you're like,
yeah.
So this is issue 2, and you've already mentioned, working to get a publisher for issue 3. How many issues do you have in mind for this? Is it something you can continue to do ongoing? Is it like a mini series? What do you have in mind for the overall story?
Well, I envisioned it before I knew what I was getting myself into as 15 issues. So basically like 3 graphic novels worth, three different 5-issue arcs. But when I was with the first publisher, they were trying to encourage me to just do a 5-issue arc with the potential, if we did well, to do more. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have the next 3 issues wrap up, but not in a way where I can't continue it if I don't want to.
Sure.
Right.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough. Well, the
hard to write that satisfying story
too, because I funded issue 1. I was working on The Good Wife at the time.
Oh wow!
As their script coordinator, and then they had BrainDead season 1 going, so I was doing both shows at the same time, and that's how I funded issue 1. And then issue 2, we had just moved back east, so I could stay home with my son. And we basically used a personal loan to fund issue 2.
Wow.
So that's why I'm hoping we can fund them in a different way. So
we're
not so much in the hole financially.
No, the story is like good enough where it'll definitely carry over for people wanting to issue 3. There's stuff I want to talk about that I don't know if I should just. I don't want to spoil things, but it's like I want to know from the creator, what is up with maybe like. Because I don't want to spoil anything. One of the things is like, all right, well, we know that there's probably a trader, in the company, And at first I was thinking maybe it was like his kind of like the doctor's sidekick, that woman who likes him. At first, I saw her messing around with like the nanobots or whatever before he got there. I was like, oh, maybe she's like, the informant or whatever. And then I was like, no, because whatever she said was like, could be construed as, maybe a villainous way, or she has a crush on him. Then later it was revealed that she has a crush on him. I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe she's not the bad guy. And then I was like, all right, well, maybe it's, the actual
trust your instincts, man.
Yeah, it's fun to theorize,
right?
With the different storylines. And also, the whole entire nanobot thing. You had the crazy preacher guy who was like, "Oh yeah, you have a hum inside your blood."
And I don't know if Homegirl heard it before he said it.
Exactly.
So I was like,
exactly.
I'm guessing, she's guessing. Yeah.
But could it be psychosomatic? Great. She imagined this now because she kind of snaps. So I don't know. It's just so many unanswered things, and you can definitely tell a lot.
And the thing about that is, you build several compelling threads just in that first issue, and then carry it over to the second one. Yeah, I mean, in a totally different way.
There was a spoiler at the beginning of issue 2, but it could just be the review copies. But it said, the main character, the doctor, said his mentor was the guy that's in charge of the kind of like the evangelist kind of preacher guy. They're friends, and I was like, oh, because I thought it was referring to the crazy preacher guy from the first issue. Like, really? And then later on, they introduced him in the second issue. I was like, oh, okay, it was referring to that. So it was a little spoiler, but man, it's so good, so good.
Yeah,
I had a great time with this. Yeah, I had a great time. And you did such great world building that first issue to understand the environment of what's going on through the character. You've seen it through her eyes of what all she's going through and the whole entire world. Then the second issue was like, okay, well, let's deal with this problem. And it's great too seeing this doctor guy. He seems genuine, where he actually wants to help.
He does. So, he legit wants to help, but he's kind of had his blinders on to what has been done with his tech. Like he's aware that it's maybe not being used the way it should be and is intended to be, but he's so desperate to find a vaccine that he's just put all his effort and energy into that, and isn't on top of keeping up with making sure the tech is being used in the right way for everyone else.
He almost sees it as a necessary evil almost, and maybe not necessary, but an evil that he's able to overlook because he's trying to solve the root of the problem, and he knows that once he does that, then everything will be better. But then you also bring in, I don't know if I want to call it slavery. It's more like, indentured servitude.
It's a form of slavery.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Crazy sort of government corporate twist that it blew my mind, because again, you do all this in like 10 pages. Like in the first 10 pages, everything you need to know, and it's like, all right, here we go. And it was just so well done. Now you mentioned that this is all for like something else, for a movie or something like that.
Well, started so when I originally wrote this, I wrote it up as a pilot script. The comic book series ended up developing in a way that's very different from the way the pilot script went, and nothing unfortunately really happens with the pilot script. Otherwise I'd still be a California.
Sure. But I mean, and we're comic book fanboys. We're supposed to hate that, but I don't care. Hollywood's failure to pick up on young screenwriters and things like that is the comic book industry's, win. So
for sure.
I see it as a win. So what is it now moving forward? I mean, I know Duplicate is 3, you're going to get some success there because there's no way that this comic book isn't going to get picked up by a publisher and lead to other things. But is it more comics, or is it more?
At this point, I would say it's more comics, because what I found once I got into comics was not only this like great open community that's been so super supportive as opposed to what I was dealing with in film and TV land, but it just felt like everything I'd done in film and TV trained me to write this way.
Nice.
Because I don't know if I had started in comics, I don't know if I would have been able to think in this visual manner to write the panels out. And because I try to write each page in a way where it has like a beginning, middle, and end visually. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that I would have been able to do that if I hadn't worked in film and TV. And, I worked in editing, I worked in, like post-production, I've done writing, I've done the production. So I've been involved in all aspects of that. And when you're doing a comic book, it's like you're producing your own little movie.
That's awesome.
When you came from TV to comics, I know you said it was through conventions, and that's where you kind of started to gravitate towards comic books. What did you read first? Like, I'm assuming based on what you've said and the stuff I've read, you didn't read comics prior to that, or did you?
No.
Not. So what have you read? Are you reading anything now? Like, what do you look to in comic books?
I started out with a bunch of graphic novels, and I'm blanking. Fables. I really loved Fables. That was like the first books I really got into, and I think I have like almost every book. And then my
Jack of Fables I think is better, but go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh, I love Jack.
My friends Lindley Forrest and Lisa Weber and Kelly Sue Milano, they do Hex 11, which you guys should get them on because they're awesome. It's a female comic book company, and it's all about magic. And so I keep up with them, obviously like Ryland's books, Ehrin and Banjax, and he's got a bunch of other books he's working on.
What have you done for me lately, Ryland?
Well, we read all of our scripts. We went into these classes together. So Ryland and Steven and Jeff and we all workshop our scripts together. So I see all the scripts for all his comic book projects.
That's where he's stealing all his ideas from.
And the same with like Steven. So they see all of my stuff before my artist sees it, which is great. Because then I feel like at least I've had like a stamp of approval on it before it goes off.
Nice. You don't need Ryland's stamp of approval.
Ryland, I know you're going to listen
to this show.
No, Ryland, I know you're going to listen. Listen to who's saying this.
He's approved this show. If that's any measure or gauge of what he approves, you do not need Ryland's approval.
Now, you actually had a tier, and I don't know if did anybody take advantage of that where they could get David Pepos or Ryland to review their script?
No, actually, one person took advantage of the tier for me. I'm still waiting for them to send me their script, but no one took advantage of David or Ryland's tiers.
That was like such. If I was a creator, I would have been all over that. I mean, you're talking about two extremely successful. I didn't know that you were doing it also. That's cool. I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly wish when I saw that, I wish I had something to just to send off or send to y'all.
Yeah. Just send Ryland a prank, like a photo of your
It's like a seminar. It's like a pro wrestling seminar. Where do you want to go to learn how to do something? Go to somebody that's done it successfully and funded it successfully and created.
That's what Karla just said she did, going to the cons, networking, getting in front of people. Ambushing them outside panels.
Yeah. It's like Invisible Boy on Mystery Man. You got to know about networking.
Yeah.
So Karla, when you're doing, it sounded like earlier when you were talking about paneling the pages and you wanted to start, have a beginning and end. Do you think of those panels as storyboards rather than panels? Do you think of it in that way since you have kind of a film background?
Yeah, I would say that's a good way of putting it. It's kind of like a storyboard for me, but obviously a very detailed storyboard.
Sure. Yeah. That's what I think I've seen that somewhere where people talk about like that last panel on the left page the first panel on the right page needs to flow.
Yep.
Or else your reader is just lost right there. So there's a lot to think about when you're making a comic, I guess. I guess when you're reading it, you really don't think about it. But then when something doesn't flow, it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, for the people who got the scripts, they'll see that like most of the pages, I had detailed breakdowns on each panel, but there are a couple pages where I described what I wanted the page to look like in more of a free form, and then I let Mariana have at it with how
the same artist. Yeah, that's awesome. And that's my favorite part of comics, especially the creative side of it. It's that symbiosis. And you can see as a book goes on, two creators, melding and becoming one vision throughout. And you guys have already pretty much nailed it by issue 2, but the best part is it's only going to get better. So
is there anything is there a reason why you went to like organ printing and the kind of bio side of it, is there a specific reason that story or that aspect of the story kind of
Do you own a
was
3D
there?
printer?
Yeah, do you own a 3D printer?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Are you printing organs?
What is your plan?
Man, I should be. We're probably going to need them soon with the way things are going.
Right.
I walked in my daughter's room and she had this little Yoda sitting on her table, and I was like, "Where did you get that?" She's like, "Oh, a friend at school printed it with their 3D printer." I'm like,
Wow.
"What world are we living in?"
Welcome to the future.
It's also a weapon.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
Well,
That's
I thought of doing something with like organs after I saw Repo the Genetic Opera.
Nice.
That
Yeah.
was a big influence. And then the 3D printing at the time when I was doing the research for my script, that was a big thing in all the science news, was 3D printing and how it was going to affect medicine. So it was just a bunch of research and influences from movies that kind of came together into this.
Have you seen Farmhand by Rob Guillory?
Have not.
I would highly encourage you to. It's. I'm just saying that because it's organ. They're basically farming organs, planting seeds to farm It's
It's
way,
like a magical tree or something.
it's way out there. Like it's similar, but it's not really similar to what you're doing. I would highly recommend checking it out. I love.
Yeah,
that
the
book.
organ farming in Farmhand is just kind of like a pivot for everything else to revolve around. In yours, it's a main plot, but it's spinning off of all of these other threads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours is way more realistic. His is way more.
Way.
But
And that's what I like about it. It feels like we're not far off from this being a possibility.
Exactly.
You can duplicate. That's my favorite kind of sci-fi. You know, that sort of right around the corner sort of thing. I prefer like Star Trek where it's a little bit more utopian, but whatever. I like the scary stuff too.
The story possibilities are because you think about it. Because now when people have to go on a list and wait for organ donations and things like that, or whatever. But if you can print organs, you can basically print money. And while you have one person who has the best intentions of that technology, how many people want to take advantage of it and get their hands on that money? I mean,
well, you bring up the money. That's the implication I'm getting from this. The same people who created the virus are the same ones that have the organ thing, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
The
but
one
that's
that creates the
immediately where
panic
my
has the
conspiracy
pill.
theory goes.
The one that creates the panic has the pill.
I thought it was funny how, like, in the comic, like the government, enacted this rule to use these plastic organs, and they started a spin on it where, like, oh yeah, using natural, organs is actually bad. And it was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty clever.
Well, it's like pharmaceutical companies will create a pill that does something. They don't know what to do with it. So it's like, well, what does it do? Oh, well, then we'll call that excessive whatever hair growth in that specific area a certain name. And now we created a disease, and now we have the cure, and we can sell it.
Viagra was originally a blood pressure medicine, and it had a weird side effect, and then boom, you got a new thing.
Well, and it's priced differently too. I was reading with all the price gouging that I think if Viagra's for the blood stuff, it's one price, but if it's for the other thing, it's a whole other price.
Yeah.
It's like, why does that change?
How that works.
Still get the same pill.
Yeah.
So
I told everyone to invest in Pfizer before they released that pill. Everyone should have listened to me.
Right?
I don't know. I don't think so.
How do you predict the future, Jason? I've seen your Facebook post that you share. You predicted this all to happen.
He did have a toilet paper first from like 2011.
I'll tell you guys the secret on how to make yourself look like a prophet.
I was going to say it's got to be fake because you've done it.
You got to. It's all hidden in the memes. You got to look at the memes.
You go to your memories section. You look at things you said in the past timeline. I've been around for 10 years on Facebook by now, sadly. And, one of my old statuses was just irrelevant, nothing important said, whatever. And you can edit your old status and change it, and it'll say edited on there. But
you should have said that off air. You should have said that off air.
So you can all be prophets now.
Because Jason shared a memory from like 6 years ago, and it was like six years from now we'll all be fighting over toilet paper. And then he just comments on it so that it pops back up in your feed.
Right.
You're a genius.
Yeah, it's all about controlling the algorithm, bro. You got to figure your way around it.
The algorithm.
Well, let's get back to this comic.
Some lottery numbers.
Duplicate is fully funded. You're done. The campaign is over. So are you in fulfillment mode? What's that like? Is that a nightmare getting everything together and shipped out? What's that like?
I wouldn't say it's a nightmare yet. It was a little tricky today because I had trouble figuring out whether I was going to use Dropbox or WeTransfer to get everyone their files. But I'm using a US based publisher, so that should hopefully help avoid any knockwood issues with getting it out. And Carlos, worked all day yesterday for me and getting the PDF ready so I could get it out today, which was amazing of him.
So you have like a fulfillment.
Running the campaign was tricky with a 2-year-old. I basically had to rot his brain the whole time.
Oh wow!
Stuff.
That's what we all do as parents. Let's just be honest. That's what we all do. I don't judge you for that. So you have a fulfillment center that's dealing with shipment and all that stuff. You don't have to do that yourself.
Oh, I have to do that myself.
So that's
I've got
coming.
a huge box downstairs from Gemini with all their mailers for when I get.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Big old 60-pound box of mailers.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
you gotta love them though. They're very nice mailers.
Yeah.
Yes, they're amazing. And then Mariana is sick and hopefully on the road to recovery, and she's going to send out the original drawings shortly. We're going to send them via UPS because she had sent them via the mail to me in December, and customs ruined them, so she had to completely redo them in January.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I
bet.
I've had enough instances with the postal services. It's okay, but when it comes to like shipping important stuff, you got to have that insurance or go with a I would like UPS or something in my opinion, because it's like
we're doing this time. We're doing UPS.
It's like you get burned so many like. But I don't know. I'm rambling here. Moving on.
Good job.
What do you think about DHS? I mean, what are your thoughts on?
I tell you what,
on
DHS
other Western
does
Union,
great internationally. International rates are high. If you're gonna ship international, you do want to use DHL if you ship in bulk. So if you have items
DHL.
over so many pounds over a month, you can save a lot of money.
Yo, Jason,
I was joking, dude. I was joking.
I deal with that stuff every day.
Welcome to ComicCast.
Yeah, I'm on vinyl records. So.
Oh, you want to talk logistics? Let's.
Oh, you want to talk logistics?
Actually, you can save money by.
The best thing to do is just open an Amazon store and.
Can we end this?
No.
So what about what's your end game? Obviously we're comic book nerds. We're glad that you came into comic books because we're all excited about this book. But what do you want to get back to TV and movies? Like what's your end game? What's your dream job?
What's your next book? And when's it coming out? So I can break that news.
Ignore Gaumer. No.
I've written a standalone issue of Monster Matador that Steven's going to illustrate when he has time. Because he's busy juggling 2 kids and everything else that he's doing creatively in life. And then I've pitched a couple of stories to Friction that I'm hoping one of them gets picked up. That they do a comic anthology. And then I have a kid's book that's being illustrated right now. And I'm working on another children's book with an artist I met at Baltimore Comic-Con. And I'm working on an animated series pitch with someone I met again through my comic contacts that I hooked up with. And then for the comics itself, my main focus right now is just getting Duplicant finished. Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to jam out finishing the script for issue 3 so I can get it to Mariana as soon as possible.
So you sound very comic book.
Dang, you got a lot going on.
That's exciting. What about the kids book though? That's something I'm interested in. I have kids. We're in the process of trying to adopt. What's the premise of the kids book? Is it going to be crowdfunded? What are you going to do with that?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up crowdfunding it. It's called Petal the Timid Inventor, and it's about a pangolin inventor who lives by herself on an island. She's an introvert, so when a bunch of other endangered animals move onto her island, an orangutan, a Malayo bird, and a lowland anoa, which is a type of buffalo, a tiny type of buffalo, she is overjoyed and wants to meet them, but she has to figure out a way to meet them that doesn't overwhelm her. So she uses her imagination,
very cool,
her ability to invent to do that.
Awesome.
That's
So
awesome.
you are doing that through Kickstarter as well?
I'm probably going to publish that through Kickstarter. The artist I have working on that right now is someone I also met at Baltimore Comic-Con, and she's doing some great work. So I'm hoping to have a finished book within the next 6 months, and then I'll put that up on Kickstarter.
That's a great storyline. I feel like a lot of kids naturally are really, just timid, in general,
Social
or shy or
anxiety,
bashful. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's great because that'll help like a lot of kids,
Kids
and
get a
parents
bad rap
teach
with
your
that
kids, how to
social
do that.
anxiety thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everyone's, they're just shy. Oh, they just
Right.
no, man. If that was an adult, don't get me started there.
Yeah. Most parents are like, yeah, kid, here, go play football with these kids.
My kid used to cry
house.
anytime a crowd sang happy birthday.
Oh, wow.
And I would just, at a birthday, I'd just pick him up and drag him out of the room.
Yeah.
But people would get mad.
Which is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I'm like, dude, I didn't ruin your party. I didn't make a big deal. I snatched my kid up and took him out so he wouldn't cry. And people would get mad. But he had anxiety over that. So that's a great idea.
I hope you did.
That's a cool idea. No, I was never mean like them.
No, that's the other kid that he slaps, not that.
This could
that
be
was locked in the basement. Yeah,
I'm
this
not
is real life.
I'm gonna throw this question out here to Karla, because you said you've been to a lot of conventions and stuff. Do you have any interesting or weird convention stories?
Yes, this is a great question.
Or anything that's happened, or any weird occurrences, or anything?
Any weird occurrences?
You can be honest. Nobody's listening. It's just the 5 of us.
Well, when I went to David Schrader's booth when he first put out Baby Badass, you know how he would carry around the baby with the helmet on his head? I had my kid with me, and he was maybe 9 months old at the time, and he was just enamored of that baby and the helmet. So he just kept putting the helmet on. I think we stayed in his booth for probably a half an hour with him playing with the bloody baby and the helmet.
That's great. It's a great scene.
We talk about kids being timid, but he was all about that baby.
And how about being able? And how about being able to take your kid to go work? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cool.
Rad is that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he's been to a lot of conventions because he started out in the womb going to the conventions, and then he's been to them in real life. I think now it would probably be a little more tricky trying to get him there and not have him be bored out of his mind.
Yeah.
You start showing him the ways of how to create a comic book.
Well, then how's she going to make money? You get your kid hooked on comics. She ain't going to have no money. She's going there to make money, bro.
No, you can tell the kid to make the comic, and then you make money off the kid.
Yeah.
He loves the video that Jesselyn did for the comic book. He wants to watch it all the time. He thinks it's funny.
That's awesome. All the people dying and screaming. He's like,
Wait a minute. Who is this book for? Because I'm getting 2 different stories here.
Again. And he only wants that beginning part, not the part with me. Just the beginning.
Wow, that's incredible.
Just the death and murder and dying. That's what he wants.
The kid after my own heart.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Do you have any favorite horror movies or anything like that?
Yeah, you big horror?
I am horrible with horror movies. I get frightened. So I would say the one that I've been able to watch that I love is The Sixth Sense. That's one of my favorites.
That's cool. Man, I cry every time I watch that movie.
Really?
And when he's talking to his mom and he sees grandma, dude, I lose it. I'm getting misty just thinking. I don't know what it is about that scene, Haley Joel Osment. He deserved the Oscar for that.
Once that movie's spoiled, though, it's just never the same. But still
matter.
That was spoiled for me before I saw it, and I was pretty upset.
We lived in this when we first got married. We lived in this tiny little crap apartment, like you could sit on the couch. You sat on the floor and stuck your feet out. They touched the TV like it was that small.
Nice.
And I made my wife watch that movie, and it was like late at night, dark. We're walking up the steps, and I see dead people, and.
She just lost it.
Oh, she won't ever watch it again. She watched it once.
Oh,
and never
I love that movie. I've watched it 2 times.
My wife is super terrified of horror movies as well. Like she really hates Chucky, like Child's Play.
Yeah.
And I was thinking behind her, I always go, "Want to play?" And she's like,
I have no clue why our wives won't watch horror movies.
I love the movie, the Puppet Master movies with the little puppets.
Yeah.
You know, Jason. Yeah, the Puppet Master movies.
Okay, I don't think I saw Puppet Master before.
Oh, you've not seen those?
I don't think I have.
There's one, the 6-shooter. He's like a cowboy, but he's got 6 arms with 6 guns, and he's a little puppet. But he always goes, he. So I'll walk around the house going, he. And my wife hates it. It's either that or the Leprechaun. I want
that's awesome.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Control.
Christine is another good one. The one with
the car.
Yeah. I love Christine. Yeah. Any of those old 80s Stephen King redos were so good, man.
I tell you what, maybe you should try doing a horror comic. You know, I know you hate horror per se, but you know, maybe you can aptly identify or say some scary stuff through that channel. You know,
you've got to be scared to write horror.
It's funny because the animated series I'm working on is a horror animated series.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is it more for kids or an adult geared sort of?
No, it's adult.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
it's going to be an adult animated series.
Can you tell us about it?
What?
Can you tell us about it? Like any secrets
I'd like
here?
to tell you that it's set in the Philippines, and it's going to deal with a lot of Filipino curses and their history with the supernatural, and the artist is Philippine. So I'm hoping it all works out. I mean, we're still brainstorming, but everything's going very well. So I have my fingers crossed.
Wasn't Tony from 3 Panel Crimes just talking about doing a book with horror from the Philippines or something?
Oh, I love Tony. Right. He was in my classes.
He's awesome. He's so cool. I think he was just talking about that.
I'm still not convinced he's not going to kill us all, though. I'm
a little concerned. He wanted my address.
He
I was like, wow.
dead in the eyes. I'm a little concerned.
I haven't gotten mine yet. You know,
I got mine too somewhere.
The mailbox.
I was scared to give him my address. I won't lie. I thought he was going to kill me.
You need a PO box, Boogie. You're too nervous.
I do need a PO box.
Have a frame, so I framed them.
Somebody that writes like that there's something wrong with him.
No, there's something right with him. He's writing like that. I love.
Well, maybe you're a serial
killer. Yeah. So this is for you, Karla, because in the note he says, I don't know if you can read this. I'll catch up on those Rocky movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was the one that hadn't seen them.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
I thought for a second it was going to say, "I'm going to kill you."
Yeah. Now that I know where you
that's
live.
coming soon.
Well, that's fine too.
You guys,
watch your back, Adam.
Well, the next time someone knocks at your door,
get you a Ring doorbell.
ComicCast is going to be me, Venomized Ryan, and Willie.
We're all going to be dead.
I figured.
Don't interview Instagrammers.
Yeah, if he did it though, it was because he had a Polaroid camera and he was going to make an actual a
real life
3-panel crime,
breaking the fourth wall.
Jason, Gaumer, and Adam just dead on the comic.
Hey man, there's worse ways to die than being a 3-panel comic.
We'll be part of Tony's great art.
I'll talk about it here on ComicCast, 7 p.m. every Sunday.
I like it. That's awesome.
Wow. Well,
awesome.
It's almost
That's
that
so
time.
Cool that you know Tony.
Yeah.
She knows everybody because Ryland books all of our talent.
Because Ryland is the Kevin Bacon of comics.
He needs to start writing some more comics again.
I know, right?
All this networking for us.
I want to ask Ryland how we're shooting
so many cool series in the works. You guys are gonna love.
Oh yes, awesome.
Yes.
We'll have to bring him back on and have a good time. Get demonetized. That's what he does. He comes way too much.
We gotta have him on for the Rocky IV episode.
Yeah, I bet he would do commentary on it with us. I guarantee you.
He 100% would.
Yeah. We're talking about doing movie commentary on Rocky IV for the anniversary coming up.
I think it's like October, November.
That's his jam.
Yeah, I think it's like October or November is like the anniversary. So
Polly banged that robot.
He did.
You will lose.
I would break you.
We got to stop. We got to wrap it up. We got to let Karla go. We're excited about the future. We'll be keeping up with you on Twitter.
Yeah.
We'll be looking for the kids book and duplicate number 3, all that good stuff. All the links to your social media, your Facebook page, your Instagram, all that's down in the description. Everybody check that out. Any final words or plugs you want to give before we get you out of here?
Keep up with us on Facebook.com/DuplicateComic. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. And I have my own website, www.karlanappi.com.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah,
thanks so much.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you.
Okay.
Good luck in the future.
Bye. Thanks.
Yay.
Can I say I was super surprised by how much I enjoyed Replicant 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
I was very surprised that I was going to enjoy
right
it.
name. Say that.
Duplicant 1 and 2.
You called it Replicant, but that's okay.
Did I? I'm sorry.
That was the movie, right?
It may have been.
That was the Keanu Reeves movie, I think it was called.
Yeah, I think that was.
But oh man, it was so cool, man.
Yeah.
I love that deep sci-fi that like teeters on the brink of
reality.
Real thing happening.
Got a lot of people hanging out.
Yeah, we do.
And on the periscopes.
Hey,
all that
Boogie.
good stuff. Guys,
Did we want to?
Hold on. I'm gonna drop some digital codes in the chat, so stick around. I got more books coming.
Did we want to talk about the earlier events of this week? Did you want to bring any of that up to talk about it? The Twitter drama. We do usually talk about your Twitter drama, right, Aubrey, and
I had it in my notes. I deleted it, but if you want to talk about it, I'll gladly talk about it.
No, we don't have to.
No, let's talk about it.
I just wanted to bring it up because I know that sometimes that helps you to vent and get it, to get it not out, but to talk about it on the show. A lot of times that makes you feel better about it. Because I know you were really upset when Aubrey did it, but then it seemed like we talked about it, and then the next week you were joking about him doing it.
And that's the point that I'm at now. Like I was pissed off at the time because
understandably.
Nobody knows what we're talking about. So this week, Dan Slott said F everybody. He said something along the lines of, if you voted for Trump the first time, and disclaimer, I don't even vote. I hate politics. I didn't vote for Trump. I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't care. But he tweeted out, if you voted for Trump the first time, I forgive you. But if you do it the second time, then F you, ... all capitals, F you. Okay, let's start there.
He must have been drinking.
Well, let's start there. You've isolated
something like that.
You've isolated how many fans and said F you directly to these fans? I don't care. Do not care about that. I do not care.
Yeah.
What do you think happened? Of course he got backlash. You don't tweet something like that and not get backlash. So, oh man, Bear Pig, you're here just in time. This is right. So of course you get backlash. So what do you do? He goes and he blocks anybody that follows anybody that has anything to do with Comicsgate.
The blockchain.
Comicsgate didn't start this. Comicsgate had nothing to do with this.
He must have been drinking. It seems so irrational to me.
Let's keep moving. Keep it moving.
Yeah. I want to talk to William Pace. I guess I was referring to replicas, not replicants. My bad.
Oh,
but yeah.
Let me get through this story. Dude, Kari Press, my brother from another mother. Antonio, thanks for swinging in at the right time. So he talks to everybody that follows anybody from Comicsgate. So, of course, my personal account gets caught up in the blockchain. ComicCast does not get caught up in the blockchain, which is funny because I follow Ethan Van Sciver from that account. Regardless. So I was going to ignore it. I was going to let it go. I don't care. I've been blocked before and still bought creators' work. Whatever. I don't care. You say, well, Boogie, you should look past that and look at the story. Okay, cool. I've done that time and time again.
Sure.
I may have been drinking. And I saw that he tweeted. So he tweets out and says, basically attacking everybody that he blocked, basically saying, I've heard I've lost a ton of fans, but my followers are going up. Ha, ha, ha. So I thought I would say, well, you did lose a fan because you blocked me. So all I did was post from ComicCast and said, look, we're a 4-man panel. We review comic books every week. The 3 guys on the show that have nothing to do with your work did not get blocked. The one person on this show that is reading Iron Man 2020 and Fantastic Four got blocked. That's all I was saying. I wanted to point that out to him. Gave him the opportunity. If he had ignored it, I probably would still be reading Fantastic Four if he had just ignored it. But instead, he doubles down and comes back and says, I don't want people like you as a fan. Well, guess what, Dan Slott?
I'm not a fan.
Fantastic Four's gone. Iron Man's gone. Empire's gone. I'm not supporting your work anymore. So you can say I'm in the right. You can say I'm in the wrong. I don't care.
There's no right and no wrong for me here. There's no right or wrong.
William Pace.
I don't want
Fantastic Four book does.
I don't care why you don't support a book. You know what I mean? Don't support the book if you don't want to support the book.
Yeah.
Now, typically in these situations, I would say, Boogie, you're doing the same thing that you're accusing everybody else of doing, and that's making this decision not based on the creator's work, but based on what the creator said. But you, Boogie, have a platform. ComicCast isn't big. We're not trying to, but most of the damn YouTube channels out there are not big. We are a platform. We have people in here coming to listen and to what we say and what we have going on. And you doing that to Dan Slott on Twitter via the ComicCast account, not your own account, you were acting as I would say a journalist. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to use that word in a highfalutin sort of way with, Watergate and things like that. But damn it, you report, you opinionate, you commentate, you keep yourself in the know, and you have a platform about the industry that Dan Slott is in, and he screwed up.
Dude, you've been the biggest Dan Slott supporter from like the get-go.
You've
been reading all his books from like Spider-Man to Fantastic Four.
And I've crapped all over it.
And
I
was
defending Dan Slott at the beginning because I was like, no, Boogie, we should separate the art from the artist. Mm-hmm. But no, not when he goes to ComicCast and is like, no, and screw you too, ComicCast, just because you asked me about the thing I was doing that's sort of newsworthy. Serenity, if that would have happened on the Outright Geekery account, I would have called him out so hard, dude.
Serenity says, what does he mean, people like you? Well, apparently, if you follow Comicsgate creators or if you buy Comicsgate books, then you're a racist.
You're guilty by association.
You're a transphobe. Serenity, you've openly said it in the chat that you're a black gay male. Have you ever felt discriminated against on this show? We treat you like all of our fans. We love when you're here. We love when you're hanging out. It just makes no sense. You can't paint people with a broad brush. And all I wanted Dan Slott to do was say, I'm sorry you got caught up in the blockchain. Thanks for supporting my work. But he doubled down on hate. And that's stupid.
Not only that, he researched the fuel to find out that ComicCast was following all of these people that he associates with a group of people that he disagrees with. And then after he did that, he bragged about it and like, well, no, I'm blocking all you a-holes and you're included in there just because you happen to follow them on social media. It's like grade school cliques, bro. Who has time for this sort of stuff, dude?
Antonio calls me a racist.
Yeah, he means black people, Boogie.
Let me say this. Antonio is hanging out in the chat. Antonio is my brother from another mother.
What a week he's been having.
How about
hanging out with dude? What's his name? His artist? Yeah, yeah. And they've been.
No, don't talk about Antonio in a great week because Antonio just basically he had to call me this week just to make sure I was okay because he's been ignoring all my text messages.
He's a busy guy, Boogie. He's busy.
He had to call me just to make sure I was okay. But go back.
He's like Dan Slott.
Way of the gun.
He's like Dan Slott. He's too big for you now, Boogie.
Yeah, it's true.
Don't worry. Antonio, don't worry about Boogie Antonio. He's probably just rolling around on a floor with a bunch of other dudes.
Man Bear Pig brings up,
But
again,
let me say this.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I don't, it doesn't matter. Jonathan Hickman could post to Instagram him eating a baby, and I'm still going to read X-Men. Okay. I don't care. I don't care what the creators say. I don't care what they do. I don't care what your politics is. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care anything about what you do as a comic book creator except creating comic books. I am not going to limit myself
I've stood
based on other people's opinions of a person when all I care about is that person's work.
Yep. I agree with that.
Thank you, Adam. I love you too, man.
The thing is that when that person turns their ignorance on you, that's a different. It's like, hey, don't talk to me that way.
Well, it's like
see that.
I agree with Man Bear Pig. If you want to keep reading the book, keep reading the book. Yes. But it's like I said, and I know Gaumer said it's not personal in the private chat. It's not personal. You're talking about social media, and while I agree with you to a certain extent, I was giving him the opportunity to make things right, and
through the ComicCast account as not just some dude on Twitter, as a platform, that engages with the industry on a regular basis to help promote that industry. That's what we're here. We love comic books. That's why we talk about comic books.
When he engages you personally, then it is personal. He's not engaging a large group. He may think it
was a response to one person.
Yeah, it was a response. So when you're responding to one person, you are communicating directly to that person. So when someone says it's not personal, how can it not be? He communicated directly to you, whether he thinks it's personal or not. But
I love that response from Serenity.
Yeah,
because that it's like nothing has changed. Serenity has been here week after week after week, and Serenity says, "Y'all are good people. You treat me good." So because I buy Ethan Van Sciver's book, all of a sudden I'm a racist and a
Why
homophobe?
would you want to limit yourself as a comic book reader? I don't. You know what I mean?
Jason's smirking and very quiet. What do you got to say, Jason?
Oh, he has been quiet. He's
my wife's here eating stuff, so.
What's she eating?
I don't know.
Yeah, man. I just
they want to know what you're eating.
I don't want to get caught up in the politics of the people creating the books. I want to get caught up in the politics that they're writing in the book, or the aspects, you know what I mean? What they're saying in the comic books. That's
I think
it
made it even worse because what Lost in Comics said in the chat. How long did I get abused by Dan Slott for reading Fantastic Four? But I kept defending him.
We abused you too.
Yeah. And I kept saying he writes a good issue out of every 3 or 4. I love the Fantastic Four. I want to keep reading it.
Yeah.
And so when you spit in my face, I'm not going to keep going to bat for you. That's all there is to it.
I understand it. I'm okay with it. I respect it.
We ready to move on?
We are.
I thought that was a good conversation. I'm glad you brought it up because I really wasn't. I was just going to let it
I wanted you to vent because, like I said, like with the Aubrey thing, once you got it out of your system, then we were making jokes about Aubrey.
I'm going to vent.
Man Bear Pig brings up a very good point there, too. Way easier to separate before social media.
Yeah, when we didn't know anything. Ignorance was bliss, you know, and I'm gonna hang on to my ignorance because damn it, I just want to read good comics, man.
Maybe we should rip on Dan Slott some more because the live chat has skyrocketed since we started this conversation.
Back in the day, to communicate to someone personally, they would have had to write you a letter with a stamp.
No, you had to see me face to face.
Take months. Anybody pissed?
The UFC fighter that slapped a guy in the crowd this week or last week, and everybody's like all pissed because he slapped a guy, and it's like, well, no, it's no. You talk smack on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Guess what? When you see me face to face, you're getting bitch slapped. And what are you gonna do about it now? Because I'm a professional fighter, and you're running your mouth to me. What's up now? What's up now? What are you gonna do? My face is getting red, and Jason's snickering. He's loving it. He's like, I love Angry Boogie.
It's like Chris Farley on the bus driving into, Billy Madison.
A lot of people.
I need blood pressure medicine.
a lot of people do think social media does not make them. I just had the word responsible for their act. It's like or repercussions. They think there's no repercussions behind social media, but there is.
People have been fired for things they've put on social media, things like that. Yeah.
There's a scary phrase in life. It's make good choices in everything you do. And when you talk smack behind social media, you're going to get slapped.
If I buy somebody's comic or buy somebody's anything, that doesn't mean that I support every single thing that person thinks. I am not automatically that person's brain is in my head. You know what I mean? That does not mean that. I can eat chicken sandwiches, Jason. I can eat chicken sandwiches.
Thank you, Gaumer. Thank you. I can eat Chick-fil-A if I want to.
Oh, that hate's so sweet.
Oh, can we move into some comic books?
The hate has a pickle on it.
Yeah. Let's move on. I'm anxious to see what Boogie thinks about this Bounty Hunters book.
I hate everything this week, so just hang tight.
Wow. I love mostly everything.
Number 1. Written by Ethan Sachs, who I'm a fan of Ethan Sachs. Art by Padlo Villanelli. Colors by Ari Pirato. Letters by VC's Travis Lanham. Thank you. That's a dope cover, Adam. I love it.
It is. My comic shop did not have the blank cover. I wanted a blank cover. I've been
What's Jason got here? Oh,
out on the blank covers.
And also,
he got both.
Oh, that's
that is
dope. That's sick.
Where's that? That has got to be a exclusive.
That's so
beautiful.
Dope. And then of course the A cover.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm probably gonna get all these covers, man, because it's Bermejo. I love Bermejo.
Yeah.
As I'll let Boogie review it first before I go on. But
wasn't the other one Tony Daniel on a cover?
I don't know.
Maybe that may not have been this book. Sorry.
Another Star Wars book. This takes place right after Empire Strikes Back, and even though the galaxy is at war, the underworld thrives. I'm down with that. I dig that idea. But the issue opens with a flashback to a job gone wrong with Boba Fett, Bosk, and Valance. I don't know how to pronounce Valance.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
He is a window treatment.
And his mentor, Valance's mentor, Nakano Lash. I don't know how to pronounce these names.
You're right, dude. I think you're close.
Cool. I just need to be confident. But anyway, Lash decides to double cross the whole team, including his protege Valance. And all this kind of sets up the story moving forward when we come back to the present. Lash comes out of hiding, and there's too many people in this story.
Too much going on, dude.
22 pages. You had a flashback, and then you came back to the present.
20 characters.
Yeah, just too much going on. But I'll tell you this, I was into the back half of the story when Afra and her Wookiee showed up. I was like, yeah, because I dig Afra, man.
I kind of didn't like that. That kind of felt like a plant for me. It kind of felt like a plant for me. That was like, oh, you're hating this book thus far. Well, here's something you love. And I'm like, that's too little too late, bro. Sorry.
It was too little too late. But I liked the Afra book until they started crossing it over with Luke. Afra didn't need, I've said this 100 times on here.
Yeah.
She didn't need to be brought in with Luke. Let her do her thing.
Yeah.
And they're about to reboot that book, and I'm going to give it a chance because
awesome.
I love her character, man. I really do. Like,
I do too.
People talk about, well, quit gender swapping and quit doing this, quit doing that, create new characters. Well, that's what Afra is, and she's cool, man. And I want to see her
droids were dope too. That Wookiee she hangs out with is cool.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
So
everything about Afra is great. This, however, sucked.
Yeah, I didn't like this.
The action.
I felt like I kept reading it, and it never really built anything.
It felt like it just kept going and going, and it wasn't really, doing anything.
It was just like too much information, too many characters, too many different settings.
Yeah.
Too much going on, and I really that's not what I wanted. I just wanted a centralized character focus, like Old Man Hawkeye, or you know. So like I don't know, man.
Or do the team book better.
Yeah,
don't have your team
those
all
three
over.
bounty hunters together would be great.
They're great. That's awesome. I didn't like how it started with the flashback. I really wish it would have been.
You hate that in all the books.
Yeah.
You hate that.
Yeah.
There was
what I didn't like about the flashback is it looked exactly like the present day story.
Yeah, you need a different coloring or something on there.
Sure. Yeah, good call.
There's way too many good Star Wars books for this to be as bad as it is because I just have too many options. Like Darth Vader this week was rad. It was cool. I loved reading it. But yeah, this I did not.
I mean, the art was pretty good. I like
Paola Vianelli is
great.
He's the shit. Yeah,
I love seeing Boba Fett. He was such a badass and a jerk. Like he was so good in this.
Oh, I think
that first page where he showed up, like was it page 2 or 3?
Yeah,
I
think Ethan Sachs nailed the voices of all the characters in here.
Yeah,
sure.
He even nailed the universe. It feels like a Star Wars book, but you're right. It was just like a mishmash almost. It was just It didn't have a cohesive thread.
That last letter at the end.
He's got a mute. He's like mid sentence. I'm out. Wife won't shut up. Adam, what'd you think of this book?
I
just punched my microphone.
It was
all right or terrible. Come on.
It was all right. I didn't understand why his face got blasted in the flashback, showing the robot whatever. But then in the present, it was like showing like it's some kind of fashion statement. It's like, wouldn't you try to cover if it was covered before? Why wouldn't you try to fix it to cover it back up?
Like Doom, cover your face.
Yeah, apparently, like that character, he was the guy from Vader Down, and which was a great series.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's an original Star Wars character from the old comic, and they brought him back, and so I think that's pretty cool because I didn't realize he was from the original Star Wars series. But yeah, he's apparently a ex-stormtrooper turned cyborg bounty hunter, or a part cyborg, which I think is kind of interesting. Kind of makes like a Terminator cowboy kind of guy, which is pretty cool.
He's better in that other book though.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
the character looks great, and I like the idea of the 3 bounty hunters, but they just didn't execute.
Before, when it said bounty hunters, they really meant like bounty hunters all over the whole entire Star Wars galaxy, because it's not just them 3. There's just so many others they talked about here. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Too many.
Yeah, dude, there's too many. I think I really wish he would have had a rewrite do this over, man.
I mean, this might be the case of this is like, oh, sorry, Jay. This might be like a Star Wars fan Star Wars book. You already have to know who these bounty hunters are.
Good call.
Good call. And I don't know them. Maybe. I don't know if that's
the main ones. Give me the main ones.
Yeah.
Right.
All I need is
about those 3, and that's it.
Yeah, I need Bosk. I need what the hell that droid.
IG-88.
IG-88, and I need. Yeah, and I need the.
Yeah. Guaranteed we're going to see him, and I'm probably going to continue buying it, unfortunately, because I want the Tornado covers.
Oh, wow, really?
No, yeah, dude.
I'm out.
I don't blame you for that.
Like Gaumer said, there's too many good Star Wars books.
Yeah,
they're always good, not great, right, Gaumer? That's the line. Good, not great. I'm reading the main Star Wars book, and that Darth Vader book is probably really good.
You're not reading the Darth Vader. I'm not reading the Kylo Ren book. I'm not reading the Kylo Ren book.
It's only 4 issues, so I read it.
I may pick that up at some point.
We all know what happens to Kylo. No need to read more about it.
Exactly. We all know what happens to him.
Yeah. I love Ethan Sachs. I love Old Man Hawkeye. Old Man Quill was fantastic.
Yeah.
But he also had that Weapon H side story thing, Weapon Plus, I think it was called, with Captain America and Wolverine. And that, unfortunately, was not good.
Really?
Yeah, sadly. So I feel like this is like another kind of sidestep. I think he kind of goes too much into his mind, because I think he gets excited about the world, and then he just wants to do so much. He can't help himself,
Bob the Star Wars nerd in there.
Yeah.
I have no idea who Forlome is.
Look at Gaumer hating on the best
the best moderator on the whole damn website.
Best admin in the game, and Gomer's hating on him after he just said, this is a book for Star Wars guys. And then just ripping on
I hate you, Star Wars guys.
Let's move on.
Let's move into
We're in overtime because of our dance plot.
Let's move into something amazing.
Yeah. Oh no.
Decorum number 1, Jonathan Hickman.
Oh no.
Mike Huddleston. Russ Wooten did the letters. Thanks, Russ.
I love this cover so much.
Sasha E. Head did some design. All right. Basically, we have a hired courier named Nia Nori Sud. She delivers a package to a crime boss from a syndicate leader, but it turns out that the package is a weapon that they use this courier to sneak past security in a fun sort of bait and switch thing. And then an assassin named Imogen Smith Mori used to kill said crime boss. Holy, however, this is like AP Comics, man. This is like advanced placement comics. You really have to love comics to love what Jonathan Hickman is doing in this book, and I loved it. Hickman's right.
Like, not even as like a comic book fan, just picking this up, just a regular guy, off to like, oh, let me just pick this up, cool cover, whatever. You go inside, this thing is a piece of art in general. Like, it is outstandingly.
But you're not going to like it.
Different painting styles, different art structures, different graphs and charts. Like it is deep. Also, there's like 3 different chapters.
Yeah,
it is a lot to take in for a new reader. But man, this is a piece of art.
There's a
lot going on. Go ahead, Adam.
Here's my hate on it. So where does this fit into the other X books?
Exactly.
Whatever.
Amen, brother. You guys go ahead and praise it. Then me and Adam will tear it down.
Hickman's big and small here, right? He gives us this living, breathing universe, but then he also gives us these great little moments of dialogue and character moments. Huddleston's artwork, it's like he's building Altered Carbon or Blade Runner or something with this universe. The design is different than anything else going on in comics. You could give somebody 1 page of this and say, nope, I know exactly what book this is. But the design is also an integral part of the story being told, like color choices. Yeah, open this bad boy up.
Yeah,
Jason. The use of black and white in some places.
Teammates, tag team champs.
The flowing panel placement. There's descriptive inset panels. I don't know if you can go to that one page.
Maps.
Yeah, there's maps, of course. There's one panel in here where the courier is walking into like this bar. Yeah. But there's 3 panels that point to the bar that tell you everything you need to know about that bar. And that's ingenious comic book storytelling. Look at that, dude. That looks like something out of Blade Runner, dude.
With their family.
Oh,
it goes over to like, it looks like a magazine, like the way the stuff is like layered and structured.
Yes, it's the layering. You're absolutely right.
And then like
all part of the design.
This cracked me up, the street noodles, because it goes into in depth about the noodles she's eating. And
there's a recipe, almost like a recipe.
Yeah, I thought that was really fun. I feel like it was Hickman kind of playing around, like, having fun with his ideas or making fun of him a little bit with his charts. But then, oh gosh, that is a really cool invention too. That boat kind of pedal thing with a fan. It's like
a motorcycle with a fan. Yeah. It's like part steampunk, part Art Nouveau. I don't know what. Yeah, but it's so cool. Yeah, I think the next page is the one with that inset panel on it. But then there's those descriptive
party, like club going on.
See how on there's like 3 panels pointing to the building, and they're descriptive of the building.
Yeah,
that's you have like so good.
You have this dude.
Oh my god!
You have like gambling and tarot cards.
The art was good. The art was good, but it's like I was going through this, and it's like you said, it's like
go to the next page, Jason.
This thing was putting some high level
fashion design. Gosh, so good. It should be like in Vogue or something.
Yeah, now go up on that first page and notice how on that page. No, it must be no. There it is.
Sorry.
the other page where the crime boss is at the bottom, you see how like the floor, go up a little bit more. You see how the floor, the design of the floor with those lines is the floor, but it's also a depiction of the emotional response of the character in that panel.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry, Boogie. This is
I knew you would love it. I thought it's great. I knew you would love it.
I read it 5 times. This book blew my mind.
Like, oh man,
identification is collapses into microscopism.
It collapses into a singularity, a micro singularity.
This book,
all of these things come together to equal something that is greater than the sum of its parts. This might be, again, the best debut of the year. This is amazing. I love it.
Man, I was going through this thing and I was like, man, this is some next level. Like you said, it's like Blade Runner stuff. It's like, I just want Demolition Man or like
sure
the Lone Judge Dredd.
I completely that's next issue.
Eastwood, bro.
That's next issue.
And like here we see that woman, the assassin.
Let's drop those Willie P emojis in the chat.
Whatever, Big Willie.
For the record, for 99 cents a month, you can join the channel and get access to all the custom emojis. And pretty much everybody that does that has gotten their own custom emoji.
Yeah.
So join the channel, get a custom emoji.
Next, Gomer's going to be bull. I was like, have you ever looked at the back of a dollar bill, man?
Man.
Are you all done? Can I just talk about this book?
Go ahead. I can't rave enough about this. I was so happy that I got this to review. I really was, Boogie. Thank you.
For anybody that didn't read it, it's maps and charts and graphs with a complex. Let me finish.
Classic layered art.
Oh my gosh. Are y'all going to let me talk?
Hold on, Jason. Let Boogie shit on the book so then we can rave on it again.
Thank you. It's maps and it's charts and it's graphs and it's a complex history of characters. And if that's your thing, then jump right in. I don't have the time or the energy to invest in figuring out this comic book. Did you hear Gomer say, I read it 5 times? Because it took him 5 times to figure out what in the hell was going on.
No, I wanted to be immersed in it. No, I'm serious.
I knew Gomer would come at you and be like, the panels, the layouts, the way the floor dropped, it casually represented the atmosphere of the No!
I will
too complicated.
It is. No, this is AP Comics, dude. It really is.
I will say it was clever, the beginning of it, where it had the tribe guy and the ship people. I forget what they're called back in the. But it looked like
doesn't matter. Nobody remembers.
No. But it looked like that they were like classical back in the day, old ancient people from back in the day. But then next thing you know, one's a robot. This one's got like this giant futuristic gun. It like flipped the script on you. That's the one part I like. Everything else was like, what the hell?
I love how those alien invaders got a native, cut open his head and brain, but I think it's like a creature that's controlling their bodies or something because it kind of peeks its head up, and it's like, we want what's on your mind or whatever. And then the thing just says egg. And then they go and find the egg. But dude, this
Hickman is a scientist, and this is his laboratory.
Dude.
Okay.
Hey, let me ask you a quick favor.
I can't wait till Kitty Pryde shows up in there.
We got 26 people hanging out in the live chat. Do us a favor. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Come hang out with ComicCast every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Here's a free digital code for hanging out with us. Now the live chat's going to drop to 12, but that's okay.
Hit the dollar thing too and throw us a couple bucks. We love it.
You could give us a super chat. That'd make me happy.
I do not love my review of this. I'm telling you, dude.
I knew you would love it. When I read it,
I could write a thesis on this book.
I love the artwork. The artwork was so great. But and look, I'm not saying the story's not good. I'm saying if I'm going to read this, I need time to sit down and invest.
It's traditional Hickman. It's not.
Exactly.
It's not a snack, dude. This is Thanksgiving dinner. You know, you got to be all in.
I will say the biggest thing was I was expecting something possibly different from Hickman, but I felt like I just got more of the X books. I felt like he just had so much of X stuff on his head. He needs another book to put it in.
He always does complex, high premise, like this high.
It's Hickman. This is Hickman 101.
It really is. It really is. I think this is
I want Hickman
the daring thing he's ever done though, because
98.
He really leans into the Hickman aspect of what he's doing here. Jason, we got.
That's right, man.
You guys are just way more intelligent than everybody else.
I didn't want to say it.
Next.
Wait, before we move on, I just want to say it's great to see Oscar from Lost in Comics in the chat because Chris is always here. Yeah. Oscar's never here, but Oscar's here hanging out tonight.
Everybody's home. America is shut down. The whole world is shut down.
Glad to see you guys. That's why we have 26 people in the chat because they can't leave their house. But good to see Oscar here. You guys do great stuff. I love the gauntlet
coming out of all this book.
I love the picture. Check out his picture down there with that. The gauntlet on. I love it. Oscar's the man. I love your flash segments. I love when you throw on the mask. It's amazing. Go ahead, Adam.
All right. We're going to get into Stealth. #1, written by Mike Costa, art by Nate Belagarde and Tamara Von Villen. Von Villen, that's a cool last name. Letters by Sal Cipriano.
Sally. Can I predict that Boogie adored this book?
Just hang on.
So this is I guess kind of like a follow-up to the story that was done by Robert Kirkman and Mark Silvestri back in the day.
Comment's amazing, Ron.
We just have a show of Adam pronouncing creators. Sure, if that's what you want, Venomize Ryan, you got it.
I'll just get a list.
Let me.
This is names in comics.
This is for you, Venomize Ryan. The editor of this book was Sean Makowicz.
Yeah.
There you go. That was for you, Ryan. And that one-shot pilot that Robert Kirkman and Mark Silvestri did of this book was optioned actually.
Yeah.
For a film thing. So whoopee. But in this book, Tony Barber is a reporter living in Detroit with his retired firefighter dad, who is unfortunately in the early stages of like Alzheimer's and possibly dementia.
Is he though?
Possibly. I said possibly. He's like forgetting stuff and losing track of where he's at and things like that. But it turns out Tony's father is also the superhero of Detroit named Stealth. And Stealth has been running around getting pretty violent and not remembering that he's been getting violent, I think.
That's monologuing.
Yeah, and at the
Jack's diary.
Yeah, and at the final, like at the end, he stumbles into the. Well, it's kind. I like how they did it because he stumbles into the house, but I'm guessing he was thinking he was going to see his brother, who knew he was Stealth.
This is like the man in the chair for him.
Yeah, and but instead it's his son who didn't know he was Stealth, but now he does know he's Stealth. So I think this book it's a pretty good premise. I mean, what happens when you have an older superhero who starts suffering from those things?
Yeah.
Sure, it's a great idea. I don't think it's ever been explored quite in this way. Gail Simone wrote a book called Welcome to Something that was about a nursing home full of heroes and villains who were old, but it wasn't like serious like this. This is great. Oh my god!
Let me hit the chat, then we'll get into this book a little bit more. Venomize Ryan for $10.
We love
Thank you for the support. You always ask how you can support, and every week you drop super chats.
Ryan.
And we appreciate that, and that does help us because we pump it right back into the show through advertising in different mediums. But if you want to support the show, share it out, tell a friend. That like telling somebody, word of mouth is the best way to grow this show. You can retweet it and it'll get ignored. You can share it, it gets ignored. But if you tell somebody, I love this show, ComicCast, these dudes they bring different backgrounds, different views, different opinions about comic books. That's what this show is all about. We laugh and joke about different stances but it's the truth. We all bring different backgrounds and opinions.
And we don't hate on each other for thinking decorum is simple or too much. You know what I mean? We like
Gaumer acts like, well, I'm smarter than you. But anyways, the $10 super chat, this is just for Adam. I'm going to put that directly into my pocket, into my bank account. I appreciate the support.
Thanks, Ryan.
Get a doll and show a friend where ComicCast touch you.
Yeah, where's the rip here tonight?
Yeah, I was disappointed. He's drinking out of
Kroger was sold out. Kroger was sold out of the big ones.
Times, bro. Times nowadays.
Hey, evidently you need 3 things: paper products, shredded cheese, and root beer. Evidently, that's what you gotta have.
That keeps the virus away.
Yeah, evidently.
Why did you think I love this, Gaumer? Because
I think that this is right up your alley. It takes superheroes, a family relationship, and a depressing premise, and puts them all together. I think this is right up your alley.
What's so funny, because when I started it, I didn't like it. I didn't like the first half of the book. Yeah. And I thought there were some dialogue issues. It didn't feel natural. Like he's talking about his dad who has Alzheimer's. That's what we're all assuming is going on here. Mm-hmm. And he goes into work and he needs to take time off because his dad is in a bad spot. And whoever the editor, I'm sorry to hear that. Pause. This article you wrote is terrible. Nobody talks like that. If I came in and was talking about my dad being in bad health, and my boss is not going to immediately there were dialogue issues, but once they transitioned into the back half of the story, I loved it. I love that family dynamic, the dad struggling. And then once you got the reveal that he's a superhero, I'm like, bro,
what?
Sign me up. Yeah.
I knew it was going somewhere. Yeah. I did not expect it to go there.
Yeah, me either. I thought it was going to be a superhero dealing with his dad struggling is what I thought it was going to be. They flipped it and made it way better.
Well, the thing about it is they lead you to that it's the main character, that he's stealth. And I'm like, nah, it's not him. But the twist that they gave us, I was like, what? Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, at first I didn't want to like this comic. 1, I didn't like the cover. 2, I was like, oh, a superhero comic on Image? Like, really? Like, what are they doing? And then I read it, and I didn't like the dialogue boxes. So, like, oh, really? Is this the Microsoft Word world or something, But it's a guy just typing something out for the newspaper is what it was. And then, man, that surprise, though, at the end, that twist where you find out it was the dad, because I thought it was him. That was this hero the whole time.
And on top of that, at the end, he says they're coming back.
Yeah, he's talking about some sort of greatest American hero aliens brought him.
It's a Blue Beetle suit, is
believe it or not.
So this whole Alzheimer's thing is just the tip of the iceberg. I guess this thing's gonna it really ramped up at the end.
Or maybe they're not coming back. Maybe dude is still dealing with an episode of dementia there, and he's just talking. He doesn't know what's going on.
Right.
But we're us as the reader. The mystery is there for us too.
Or is something else going on, and he really doesn't have Alzheimer's or dementia, and we don't know.
The suit's messing with him. Exactly.
It's a Blue Beetle suit. I'm telling you, it's a Blue Beetle suit.
Well, he was off in cops accidentally. Maybe some villain has taken over and has produced this. My mind started reeling once they gave the reveal. I'm like, how is this going on?
That's why I said, is it though? Because I don't know that that's what's going on.
One thing that I this was a little thing, but just something I noticed was when it shows him when it shows the superhero stealth. Like he had the wings and stuff.
At first, I thought that was an art mistake. At first.
But then at the end, he was like, when he's on the floor, they're all floppy. Well, I
mean, he can contract them back into his armor.
It's sort of like a falcon.
They expand. Yeah, exactly. At first, I thought it was an art mistake because I thought they're supposed to be the wings on the back, but they're apparently on his arms, on the forearms, and then they retract back once he lands.
That's more of an early Falcon thing.
Yeah,
very early Falcon.
Yeah, I was surprised how much I liked this book, man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, you're right.
I didn't want to like this either, especially when I started reading it 3 or 4 pages in. I was like, okay, this seems kind of basic. And then, it kept rolling. And
dude, when those kids were like, oh yeah, there's stealth and action, and he's trying to stop this robbery from happening. He busts in, and then he throws the guy out the window. It's funny because you see his bald spot of the guy coming through the window.
Yeah,
and then once he's down and out, he gets him and starts pummeling him. I was like, wow, this is getting Banjax territory where he's just crossing the line.
That is exactly what I thought too. I was like, this reminds me of Banjax on the back half.
Those kids got terrified and ran away. It's like, wow.
This is a great twist to a superhero book with it uses tropes wonderfully. Yeah, this is great, dude. I even like the art. Even though it had problems in some places, I liked it.
Sure. But I read this after Decorum, and I love the artwork on Decorum. So it was a drop off. We ready to get into some random reviews?
Yeah.
Random reviews presented by SpinWizComics.com, distribution platform for indie content. Their goal is for you, the reader, to discover great content for publishers, to gain awareness, and to grow a bigger fan base. They are currently creating an app and also setting up print on demand. Check them out, spinwizcomics.com. You can also check out one of our listeners, Jonathan Hedrick, has a comic book up there. I think Dead End Kids #1 is up there.
Yeah.
A lot of great content. Check it out, spinwizcomics.com.
Especially nowadays when you need stuff to fill the empty time, the void in your life.
We're all dying.
Stuck in your
We're
house.
all dying. I think Jason has it. I'm pretty sure that the left half of the screen has it and the right half doesn't yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm dying.
I agree. Me too.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I don't
hey,
care.
Buggy, I do want to know what you think of Flash 751.
That's the first book on my list for random reviews.
Wow.
And my notes say, thanks to Jason, I am back on the Flash.
Dude, this was the best issue of Flash in a long time,
I had
man.
so much
you got
fun with
so
it.
lucky. Maybe you're the good luck charm to make Flash good again.
I had fun with it, man. I thought it was a great issue, ton of action.
Mm-hmm.
Williamson's like throwing back to stuff that happened back when I was still reading the run, before I dropped it. But even if you were just coming on, I think you could still piece it together. The story still made sense. It flowed. Great artwork. Great artwork in this issue.
Was incredible.
But that's one thing that's been consistent throughout the whole Flash run. No matter who's on it, it's always been good artwork.
Yeah. I think you can totally see that on the Flash 750 issue, the last one, the big one. It kind of shows all the past artists, like different styles, and they all work. They all complement each other. But this issue, I thought was just stellar on every level.
DiGiomenico on the art on this?
I don't know. I didn't even pay attention to what it was. I should have looked it up.
I should have put it in my notes.
I really like him.
Yeah,
I love this cover too. This cover is on my list.
Dragging him, dude. Oh my god.
But I love Godspeed, dude. That's a character.
Yeah, me too, man.
Dope, man. I love that character.
I'm not sure how I feel about this new Paradox bad guy. I think his design is overdone. He's kind of reminds me of like a Rogolzar, you know what I mean, in a costume. I do dig the kind of tattered cape that he wears. That's kind of fun. But it's all right. He's got great motivations, great points. You know, he brings up Flash as, messed up the multiverse multiple times. He's the cause of so many problems and stuff. And it's true. And then I loved how he said the greatest thing you were known for is dying, and you should have stayed dead. It's just, and then he just like puts him into like, I guess, hopefully this next arc isn't all like a dream sequence, like Tom King for like 3 issues, just have him be in a dream sequence with his mom and trying to escape this dreamland or something. Hopefully it's not that.
Venom.
Yeah, I know, right? That too. But yeah, this issue for itself was fantastic. If you want to jump on, now's the time, because Williamson's great at catching you up, like right off the bat. So
I think I didn't read 750, but based on what you're saying, I think you read 750 and then jump on the 751, which I read 751, and I'm thinking about going back and just getting Dwayne to reorder everything that I missed.
Wow.
And just going, dude.
Yeah.
It does have lulls. It goes up and down, but it's hard to write a superhero ongoing for this many issues. It's hard.
I'm not against you. I'm not against you doing that.
Man.
Yeah, I'm not against you doing that, but I do want to say this is the best issue of Flash in a long time.
Wow.
And also, you didn't miss much with the Year of the Villain stuff. Like it wasn't very exciting.
I'm OCD though. I want to have my box.
Yeah, those missing pieces.
Yeah.
I
I also read Dollhouse Family #5, Hill House Comics. M.R. Kerry, Peter Gross, Vince Locke, and Chris Peter. And dude, this story's coming together.
Oh boy, I gotta read this now.
Remember when we went back to that first issue, the Dollhouse, and then there's this random story, and we're like, it's all coming together perfectly. The backstory of characters inside the Dollhouse, the characters in the Dollhouse. You're getting real backstories for these characters.
Oh, wow.
And everything it's creepy, it's intriguing. It always leaves me wanting more. I'm so glad for some random reason I saw this on the shelf and grabbed the second issue and got hooked and kept going, because this is a book that you're going to need. Gaumer read Decorum 5 times. You're going to have to read Dollhouse Family 5 times to piece everything together, because this is that freaking good. And Hill House Comics has been a flop overall, top to bottom. This is one you got to read.
I might pick that up, Boogie.
It's worth it, dude. It's worth it.
Grab that.
I'm telling you, it's good.
Yeah,
the last thing I'm going to mention, Avengers of the Wastelands. Vision showed up in issue 2.
Oh,
nice.
The Vision,
Viv.
Oh, Viv. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that's. I kind of teased it the last time I talked about this book. I didn't want to spoil it, but now I'm gonna spoil it. There was a lot of recap in issue 3, and I could have done without it, but it's still fine. This new Captain America is like my favorite character in Marvel right now.
Yeah, what's the story behind him? I didn't get
He is an asshole. He kills everybody.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
Do they know who he is?
Well,
he's not Steve Rogers, right?
I told you he was basically Doom got his hands on the last of the soldier serum, and so he tried to create an army of super soldiers, but they all died, and it came down to 2 new Captain Americas, and they were battling against each other, and this is the one that survived. So he saw what Doom did, so he's turning on Doom. And but did he though? Because I don't know. Because this dude is a savage, bro. He is like killing They're like, well, we need to talk to this person, and he just cuts their head off with the shield. But I love it. I love everything about his character because he brings a little bit of mystery to the story. And Viv managed to retrieve the original Captain America shield. And I don't know, Jason, I think you read, was it Old Man Quill? I think it was in. Old Man Quill
disappeared. Yeah, you're wondering why it disappeared. Then he showed up in America.
So you saw that in that. Okay. She got the shield. Yeah, she gives it to this new Captain America.
Nice.
So now he's rocking the original Captain America shield. And we're not sure if we can trust this dude or not. I love this book. I love this team. I hate that it's only 5 issues, man.
Oh yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's it. That's the last I'm going to talk about. They're talking about blockchain. I'm in here going nuts about comics. And they're talking about blockchain.
Should I go?
Go ahead. What's on Gomer's pop?
Avengers 32. No one else. Jason Aaron, Ed McGuinness. Mephisto is manipulating all of these enemies of the Avengers. Dracula and the vampires, Namor and Atlantis, the Russians with whatever that team is that they hang out with, and the Squadron Supreme. There's a Star Brand, baby. Namor is calling out to the Phoenix. It's such a great book. Whatever.
Is it?
It is. It really is.
Long ago, man.
It's so good. Now that Justice League is kind of much done for me, because that
filling that void.
It really is. It really is. X-Men 8, Hickman and Mahmoud Asrar filling in on art. The Brood attack, which is so cool. I love the Brood. This sort of bridges between X-Men and New Mutants in a cool way. That's also nice. But this helps resolve some of the loose ends that were left over after Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning did War of Kings way back in 2009. No one else was on that.
Mm-mm.
I adored that book. That's where Vulcan, Gabriel Summers, attempts to take over the galaxy. Do you know who invented or who created Vulcan? Ed Brubaker in Deadly Genesis #1. Yeah, a little trivia. And Donny Cates and Mark Bagley. Donny Cates, y'all. Venom 24. We got to talk about this.
I didn't get it yet. I got to get it.
Oh my God. I don't want to spoil it.
I think you already did. It's a dream.
It's all a dream.
That pisses me off, man.
He's been on the island the whole time. He's been on the island the whole time.
Makes me so mad.
I missed out on
a lot of cool shit with Dylan.
Did you miss out or did you luck out?
No, I didn't read it at all. Yeah,
it was a nice. I mean, if you just say it the way I said it, yeah, it seems like, oh, that's kind of a cop out. But Cates writes his way out of it. It's actually a really cool reveal. I really liked it. And Dylan, great moments for Dylan in this. I read a bunch of other stuff, but she's a great Marvel week, huh?
Yeah, I really want to read Thor, Venom, and X-Men. I
haven't read Thor.
I've not read Thor yet either. It's on the top of my pile. I'll probably read it after we get done.
Yeah, I have New Mutants to read. That's my book from last week that I still haven't read. I'm going to read that.
I got to catch up on all those X books.
Dude, I caught up. I had Marauders left over from last week. I caught up all this afternoon, and man, they just keep getting better. And we're going to talk about Cable in a minute. I liked Cable too.
Oh,
there has not been a bad X book, even including Fallen Angels.
Even including Decorum.
Yeah.
Decorum was a great X-Men book. Yeah.
What'd you read, Adam?
Nothing really.
You read that Namor book? How was it?
The snapshots? I didn't read that. How was that?
It's kind of they play it off like it's an old school book because like Whizzer is in there and they're just it was weird. It wasn't what I was expecting. But I mean, I guess you got like this Arnold Schwarzenegger looking Namor here.
Hello. Give me your fin. Give me your fin.
Give me your invisible women.
Bob says we're frozen. But I noticed, I've got it pulled up to the side here. I noticed once earlier we locked up. It's got to be YouTube because everybody is streaming.
Mine seems to be going all right.
Yeah, it's showing. It's still looking good for me.
All servers around the world are getting.
Sorry, Adam, I ruined
Pornhub
that.
made an announcement and said we are buying more space. You know, we know it's coming.
Really, Gomer?
Well, I'm saying there are. Like,
is that it, Adam? Anything else?
The top 10.
No.
What about you, Jason? What do you got?
Oh, no, that's right, Jason.
Nothing. All right, you guys. I guess we're ready to get into the outright geekery. You guys ready for this? Hey, Gomer, you ready for this?
New? You got something new?
Book of the week. OutrightGeekery.com, your one-stop shop for news, reviews, previews, podcasts, everything geek at your fingertips. Also the home of the Outright Geekery Podcast Network. Check them out. The Geek Savs, Get Valiant, the Comic Book Bullies, Instruments of Destruction, and, of course, ComicCast. OutrightGeekery.com.
Wow. You see how quick that page loaded, too? Nice. You could have ran into so much trouble.
It took me 30 minutes just to get it. But I'm glad it worked out well. It looks good on stream.
Yeah, man, that was good.
The audio sounded quiet, though. That worries me.
Yeah.
No, that sounded
I can fix it. I can go in. Was it quiet?
Great.
I thought it was fine. No, I think it was that quiet.
I think it looked great. It sounded great.
I did too.
I got the black variant as well.
I got the one that looked like dog crap and looked like it got folded in half. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Looks like it got folded in half.
What?
It's supposed
I think it's
to look like
it's like vintage, you know, kind of looking like.
When I picked mine up at the shop, I thought it got folded. I came home and tweeted out to give away a digital code and realized that's the way it's supposed to look.
Yeah, of course, man.
I almost
later, Mastodon.
See you, Donnie.
I almost got the
later, Oscar. Have fun, buddy.
The
I did.
Scotty Young cover.
Wait, before we get into this, I read Hawkeye Free Fall.
Oh, tell me. Yeah,
it was so great.
It was
great. It's just.
I read those first two issues.
It's so silly. It's so weird. This just added like double the weird of the first, couple issues. Yeah, that was great. I read Hawkeye Free Fall too. It's hard to talk about books where it's awesome every week. You know what I mean?
try to change what I talk.
Yeah.
I read Batman and the Outsiders this weekend. I
could talk 20 minutes on Gideon Falls every time.
I try to
but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry, book of the week.
Daredevil as well. That's always consistent,
Yeah. I probably talk about it every time it comes out. Though.
Yeah.
This is by Jerry Duggan, actually, and Phil Noto.
At me? Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Is that why you didn't like it?
Sorry, Jerry Duggan. No, I don't have a problem with him saying that.
I gotta know what your guys' beef with this was, because I had a great time with it.
Oh no, just go ahead and talk about it. We'll get into it.
Okay, it's just young Cable in his adventure, pretty much, and they had that comic trope of the thorn in the lion's paw, which they get the thorn out of the big creature's paw, and they rescue this kid, and not much really goes on.
Yeah, it's not much.
Yeah,
why did you guys not like this? Well, not much really went on.
Well, I was
entertained throughout.
Yeah, me too, man. And I guess it goes on. I guess when he pulled out the whatever was in the creature's paw, you find out it was a sword. It's this super powered sword that looks like belongs to part of the ROM character.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on?
The Space
That's pretty
Knight.
awesome.
It's a Space Knight sword.
That's really cool. And then you have these 3 Space Knights or droids or whatever that are from a different galaxy. They're like, the sword has been recovered. And so they're going to go to Krakoa, which is pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to that. And then also the big reveal at the end, you have old Cable. Old Cable's back. So it's like, wow, this is cool. So you got, all right, well, so what's what happened with the cloning thing? I guess, is this going to go into X Factor, where they have to hunt down and find out, hunt down all the clones?
Because you got to cross over all these X books, because you got to buy them all.
Yeah.
Even though Jonathan Hickman says you don't have to. Yeah, you do.
Have to.
Yeah, you do.
You don't think so?
Yeah, you do.
X-Men number 8.
I mean, I am.
Just New Mutants. It was New Mutants. You got to read New Mutants.
How about I love the part when they're on a rescue mission to get this kid, and Fairy puts on her little pixie dust or whatever on this one kid. Yeah. So instead of seeing something terrifying or whatever, he sees kind of like a Disney-esque fantasy. And he's having such a good time, and the kid's just really high. It's really funny. Dude, I love the art in this. The coloring is incredible too, man. I like this book a lot, man. I want to know what you guys.
Definitely puts this over the top for me.
Yeah.
The story was just passable. Again, not a lot happens, but it's the elements that are dropped in. The reveal at the end that the old Cable's coming back. I love that. The Space Knights. I'm a huge ROM fan from back in the day. Bring me all that you can. They mentioned the Builders in here. From Hickman's Avengers thing.
Yeah.
That alone is enough for me to adore everything about this comic. Just those 3 things.
But what
and that Phil Noto art. What?
If you didn't know what that was, would it mean anything?
Maybe not. Maybe not. Probably not.
The guy I wanted to see was at the end of the book.
Sure.
You don't like. I mean, he's going to appear in the series.
You don't like Young Boy Cable.
Yeah, I mean, guaranteed that this is how they bring back old Cable. So those who want him, he's coming back because guaranteed.
And why can't there be 2 of them?
This whole entire
they travel through time. That's their whole shtick. Of course, there could be 2 of them. There were multiple copies of the X-Men in the Marvel Universe, time displaced for years.
You can probably have an army of Cables versus an army of multiple.
There can only,
that issue's never happened yet. As far as I know.
That sounds way more fun than this book.
There's a book at Dark.
I don't know.
There's a book at Dark Horse right now where they're doing that, and that book I talked about from Vault Comics last week does that with a whole army of time displaced guys doing their thing.
Yeah,
they can only share one social security number.
I can understand why people
and one woman.
I can totally understand why people didn't like this. It was a $2.99 from me, just based on Phil Noto's art and a Cable story. But then they added the Space Knights. They added the builders from that Hickman run on Avengers, and then they added that cliffhanger with old Cable, and then it pushed it over the top. And I loved it. I adored everything about it.
I had a great
so
time
much fun.
This. Yeah.
Well, Jason, you rate it first, and me and Adam will balance this thing out.
Yeah.
I rated $3.99, especially just for that little.
Wow.
Yeah, the art was incredible. I had a good time through the story. I didn't feel bored or be like this sucks. Any part of it, I loved it. I didn't love it, but I mean. Yes, it's tropey with the whole entire thorn and the paw thing, but whatever. It's like
that's tropey from Legend. It's not tropey like a comic book.
Yeah, I know.
Like a kid's story.
And I'm wondering now are more people going to start getting their swords? Is this the first sword we see in X-Men history?
From Ten of Swords. From
that, everybody's getting
coming
up.
Oh, are you specking on this book, Jason?
Specking. How about the little tally card they had? Keeping up with who won in the arena in the quarry.
Yeah. And we know Magic cheated.
She got disqualified in the first match. I love that. Callisto winning 3 times in a row. Love that. I mean, that's an X fan sort of Easter egg hit in there, and I think that's why I like this because it's Hickman fans, it's Marvel fans because of the Space Knights and the Hickman thing, and I really this felt like it was made for me, man. It really did. I loved it.
No. Adam, go ahead and tear this apart.
Go ahead, crap on it. You got a toilet paper. Adam's got some.
Just like, here's my rating. I don't want to talk about it.
You got a 21 play, right?
The book, the art was nice, but I felt like
stop it.
No, but I felt like it did not match what I don't think it matched what this book should have been. Like the art, someone said Disney. This art would work for a Disney book, but it's like that's not what this.
That was for the trip, though. The psychological fairy trip,
Yeah.
That was
I like Phil Noto's art.
No, just all the art.
You don't like Phil Noto's art?
I loved Phil Noto's art on the Star Wars books. I hated his artwork right out of the gate on this book.
Wow.
I thought Wolverine looked like hot garbage. I hated his artwork in this book. And like I said, I loved his work. Man, I praised it over and over and over on that Star Wars
You
book.
were buying it because of it. I dropped it because Greg Pak was bad on it.
It just didn't work for
me.
And
I want to say it should not be $4.99. I agree with William Page.
It was
every Marvel book.
And it was an exercise debut. Book. There were more pages.
It's going to happen.
Oh, there were more pages?
Yeah. It was like a 40-page instead of a 32-page.
Oh, more page with the
I'm not a big Cable fan to begin with. I definitely don't like the younger version of Cable. I don't care anything about the Space Knights. I don't care about the Space Knights. I don't care about ROM. I don't care what their licensing deal is. I don't care what they're doing here. I hate the sword. I hated everything about this book. I thought the cover was horrible. I thought the interiors were terrible.
It's so good.
Discount bin, bro. Discount.
Wow. I can't believe you hated it that much.
Give me this book.
It's coming. He's going to be in it.
Boogie, I expected you to go low on this, but I expected you to like the art.
I hated the art, man.
That's surprising.
I can't. It's like I said, it's weird because I love Phil Noto on Star Wars, but I hated it. It didn't. It's like, but Adam just said it. It didn't fit this book for me.
Everything you guys are saying is fair. I'm
Mm-hmm.
fanboying on this, which is why it's getting my higher
cool,
grade.
Man.
I
that's
thought it
the
was
thing
hilarious.
about these X
all
books.
over this.
There are so many X books, and I know I joked about how you got to read them all, whatever. I'm reading X Force in the main title and having fun with it, man.
Oh, you can just those. I think if I was to pick two, those
Me
are the
too.
two: X Force and the main X book. Everything else is just fun. You know?
They
Marauders probably
shouldn't have called this Cable. Should have called this X-Man.
Oh,
that's it. We're done. We're done talking about that. But Adam, did you rate it? Oh, you said $1.99.
Yeah,
Minimized Ryan wants to talk about Spider-Woman #1. That's going to be the outright geekery book of the week next week. It's already won the poll. If you want to vote for the poll, you got to become a Patreon subscriber. Patreon
is so good.
Patreon.com.
I was just about to say the Chip Kid die cut cover for Spider-Woman looks awesome. That's the only reason I want this book is because.
Anything else you guys want to talk about next week?
Deceased Unkillables #2.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, Resistance #1. I do want to mention that. That's on AWA Studios. That's a brand new company. They have a bunch.
Is that what you said we get?
We got them.
You need to remind me. I'll add it to the list.
Yeah.
We'll
it's J. Michael Straczynski and Mike Deodato, dude. These are legendary comic book creators. J. Michael Straczynski is probably writing some of my favorite stuff ever. He has this Thor run. I could go on and on. I don't want to do it. He invented Babylon 5. Anyone who doesn't know who JMS is.
Die #9. Die is back this week. Can't wait.
I didn't like it, that series.
I loved it. In my opinion, it's better than...
We never all agree.
Well, remember Oblivion song came out around the same time, and I was like, nah, dude, I'm jumping on Die. And then Boogie's like, can't rave enough about Oblivion song. And I won't go back because I don't want to read 2 Kirkman books at the same time. I love them both.
They're both great,
He's got that Firepower book coming out, too. We got an early look at that over at Outright Geekery. Dude, it looks freaking great, too, man. Kirkman's murdering it so far in this decade, man. He's doing so much.
Like if he gets lazy, I'm going to call him out. But everything he puts out is gold.
So good. Alienated #2 is coming out too. I know you guys kind of hated it, but I can't wait.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I want to read that too.
Yeah.
Aquaman 58. No, I'm just kidding.
I voted for I voted for X-Ray Robots. So.
Yeah, that looks like a good read too, man. You love that art.
Starship Down #1 from Dark Horse too.
I think that's the one I voted for.
Yeah, I'm getting Batman 91 for sure.
Nice.
I'm probably gonna get the Gary Frank cover of Plunge #2 and see what happens about the shipment of dildos. That's important.
Oh, that's important. You're right. Keep me
up, bro, because I'm not reading that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy it, but I want to stay up to date about
the dildo target. Jason meme where he's just saying, "What about the dildos?
What about the dildos?"
Oh, dude, Robin 80th anniversary.
Too much. Putting that in there, man.
Too much. I did see a short preview for that though. It looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna look good. They've got every good creator ever on it doing 3 pages.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking it up. You're the Villain, Hell Risen, #4.
I think I'm off that.
I've not read any of it.
The hype's hurt it.
And there just be a variant Robin cover that just has a crowbar on it.
They have a lot of cool
Joker
variants
one, right?
for that though. They have a lot of cool variants for that though.
Deceased is topical now, isn't it?
Right?
It is.
For real.
It is.
How about Duplicant that we just talked about with Karla Nappi?
I couldn't believe reading it. It was like ripped out of the headlines.
I'm gonna strap you to the front of my truck.
Yeah.
I'm getting Guardians of the Galaxy #3 also. I really like what Ewing's been doing.
Yeah, I jumped off of it.
No?
Is the bunny character
too much,
there yet?
man? It's just too much.
Yeah, there's too much to read.
You got to pick and choose, bro.
Yeah, it's
I
hard.
think that's it for me.
Make good choices.
Cannot wait to read Resistance, man. Cannot wait.
Let's wrap this thing up. All the links are in the description. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/ComicCastPod. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at ComicCastPod.
Thanks for hanging out, Chad. It's been a nice
guys.
chat.
Thank you.
Great tonight. We got more interviews coming up. We got some big interviews coming up. We got Kelly Thompson coming up in April and some other fun stuff. Check it out.
Who's next week?
Next week. Yeah, thanks for asking me, Gomer.
Oh, putting you on the spot. My bad. I didn't.
Well,
I don't know either. I should know too.
It's Zach Kaplan.
Oh yeah.
We just added not next
awesome,
week.
dude. I love Port of Earth, dude.
We added Zach Kaplan to the list.
He's in April.
Schedule. Next week is Adam Barnhart.
Oh, cool.
And then we got David Booher of Cantu.
Nice.
We got
no way, dude. We're getting the Cantu guy on here.
We actually had 2 different interviews with them because they couldn't come on at the same time. So,
man, that book took off in the spec market. They got a 1-shot coming out soon. That's going to be cool.
But that's it. That's going to wrap it up for ComicCast issue 187. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Yeah,
Show us some
thanks,
love.
everybody.
Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not already.
If you're listening on the audio, come check us out on YouTube,
absolutely.
please. Please.
It's so much more fun.
It's
Go
so
by
much
Decorum
fun.
and see how amazing it is.
Yeah, come on.
Shut up, Jason. No, but for real, what Gomer's saying is right. If you because we get probably similar views or downloads on the audio versus just on YouTube. Come hang out S&B Network on YouTube every Sunday night, 7 p.m.
I mean,
Eastern
thanks for
Standard
listening to the audio.
Absolutely.
But come hang out with us, Tell us that you came because of the audio.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
How many people probably listen on audio that we have no clue who they are?
We have no idea, right? And we'd love to hear from you, We'd love to. Find us on the social
media.
Do it now.
Do it now.
I mean,
invisible women.
Thank you guys. We'll see you next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the S&B Network.
Later.